outside. Who, who? Every psycho in the scene. Okay. I feel like it took me like forever to get live. So I've just been sitting here vibing out. Okay. Yeah. So, put your middle fingers up, take a shot. Okay. Let me just start off and say, Finland is qualifying. Finland will be qualifying. There is no question. Finland will be qualifying. Honestly, they would have had to like really shift gears and do something ridiculous to not qualify. This is qualifying comfortably. So they basically kept everything the same as the national selection and just put it on a larger scale. And I will just say this to applaud the Finnish team, delegation, creative team, whomever is in charge of the LEDs. Finland had amazing LEDs in 2019. Actually, I think Finland utilized the LEDs in 2019 better than most folks. It was really, really good. I loved the atmosphere they created. And what they've done with the LEDs in Rotterdam is really artful, masterful, great. They're not running around with their middle fingers up. They have their middle finger taped. And so they're like kind of doing like, they put like two of them up basically is like what they've been doing. Ahmed says this will appeal to even non-rock fans, unlike Italy. I don't know if I completely agree with that. I think folks are discounting Italy much like they did Italy in 2018 a little bit. I think the fandom has just forgotten what it's like when they hit the stage and really deliver it. And I also think the fact that Italy has that classic rock feel, it's a different demographic, but I do think that Finland is going to qualify. I think that they're going to qualify easily. They're wearing basically the same clothes. There were some cool camera tricks as far as like kind of creating this, like now I'm in a whirlwind so that we have sort of like an upside down camera. There is pyro. Yeah, I mean, Philip asked, did they release the rehearsal yet? They literally just finished rehearsing. So I doubt that it's up yet. We got to give folks time to splice, cut, and edit. Eris says, I can see this being top in the televoting, but I can't see it in the top 5 of the juries, but a safe qualifier. You know, I tend to agree with that. I'm a little bit jaded when it comes to rock entries and Eurovision and the juries. I think what the revelation I've learned about the juries is that some of them are just old. They're old, and anything that has like a sense of newness and modernity, you know, they don't typically seem to warm to it in some places. That was like my revelation, I would say, that I really had in 2018. I thought Hungary was going to do far better than what it did. And it just didn't. It didn't pop in the way on the juries like I thought it should have. Ray, the televote will definitely help this. Absolutely. Tree, was it the same as the national final? Basically, just larger scale. Eris, how will they affect Bulgaria? On All That Is Holy, I would have not put these songs together. We needed like somewhat of a transition. It is just such a shift. It'll be such a hard left to go after Bulgaria. And I think an easier shift would have been placing maybe Latvia after Bulgaria and then giving us Finland. I think even Denmark in between Bulgaria and Finland would have been a better transition. I mean, actually, the real transition that would have been nice would have been maybe Bulgaria, then Albania, and then Finland. There's notes of red in this, just like the national selection. I just sort of feel, I just sort of feel a little bit, I am slightly concerned for Bulgaria having to be followed up by Finland. But again, they are very different. And if folks want to vote for a song because they love it, they're going to vote for a song because they love it. And ultimately, Bulgaria being in the second half is good. I don't think folks will forget it. Ashton says, Vislatna wasn't for me, but I saw the amount of quality in it. So the jury's blanking. It was very strange, extremely strange. But like I said, I think some of those jurors were just old. They were just old. Josh, do you see a place in the final for Finland? Absolutely. I saw a place for Finland in the final when it won the national selection. I was like, this is going to qualify. I was like, I don't even know what the rest of the songs are, but this is definitely qualifying. Is someone asking, are you a singer? Once upon a time. Raven, random question. Why are green staging so rare? And why do countries with green stagings most of the time not do well? You know, I work in digital communications, and I will say there's something about red that makes people want to push. Green is go. Green is go. And I think what happens too, and I think also, this is what I've heard about green. People tend, instead of associating green with like spring and new growth, they end up thinking about it as like slime and like vomit. It ends up having more of a negative connotation than like green, yay. I think green is tricky. If you have the wrong shade of it, it can read like icky and like ew. I learned that in college. Oh, Ashton, Alesia is not a singer. Alesia is a vocalist. Thanks, Ashton. Elliot, is Latvia next? Yes. Will coming after Finland numb people to it? You know, I actually thought that Finland prepping people for Latvia might actually be a good thing. I actually thought that it could be a nice transition. That's why I'm saying I would have actually put maybe Latvia after Bulgaria, because it's like we see this female performance. It's so intimate. It's so quiet. And then at least Latvia, there's a little bit of the queen of the night. You know, it at least gives us some like an opening, you know, where we can ease sort of into it and then the voice hits us. Whereas Finland, it's like, you know, once it starts, you know it's about to be a rock song. It's got that Linkin Park intro that comes in. Oh, this is qualifying. Piva Siak, all the evil characters are often lit green. Yes. Yeah, green, although it means go, it isn't necessarily associated with lushness and all of those things. It typically, when people see it, it tends to be ick. Eris, Finland and Latvia is just a wave of sound. I do not know how people will react to it. Finland is qualifying. Latvia, I think it could be borderline / honestly, this might be the one that jury's just blank. I wouldn't be surprised just because it is forward thinking. It's different. It's got that dubstep kind of feel. The bass is really booming. I would hope that people would recognize her voice. But honestly, Finland, it's really going to come down to the staging. I hope that they saved up budget for the staging. The music video wasn't that much, you know. So I'm hoping the music video being, you know, not super expensive means that they saved up some of these dollars for the staging. But I will say, I really am happy just that Samantha Tina is going to have her moment on the stage. But let's keep this focused on Finland. I mean, I don't even know what else to say. It's going to qualify. It's really, really good. I hope y'all stay tuned to my channel. If you have any specific questions about the performance, drop down and ask a question in the comments. I've been answering comments all throughout the day. So if you have a specific question about the performance itself, feel free to drop down in the comments below. And I'm going to sign off and gear up for Latvia. The queen of the night is coming. All right, bye, y'all.